get some resources. Resources guide. In Landmark, you can harvest the world around you. You can use resources you gain from harvesting to create a claim, build within your claim, create objects, or craft new tools that allow you to harvest more effectively and give you access to even cooler things to build with. This brief guide will inform you of the sources found in Landmark and the tools you use to harvest them. Collections resources you've harvested, placed in your collections inventory can be accessed through the following steps. Just like there. Using I key or clicking in your inventory. Clicking on inventory. Bag down here. Landmark has 3 types of tools that are used to harvest various resources: picks, axes, and sickles. To equip a tool, open your inventory window by pressing I. Drag the pick you want. Equip it in any slot on the hotbar. Note by default the stone pick starts in slot 1. Each hotbar slot has a number associated with it. Press the corresponding number to equip the pick. Equip it. Picks are used to harvest the ground. Once you have equipped your pick, a circular targeting reticule will appear in the ground at your cursor. When you are in range of the area you have targeted, the circle will turn blue. To use your pick, press the left mouse button while you are targeting the terrain that is in range. If you hold the left mouse button, you will continue to use your pick until you release the button or target an area that is out of range. Resources. When you use your pick, you will receive resources as terrain is destroyed. What you receive is determined by what has been destroyed. Most of the world is made up of common resources like dirt and stone. However, the world is also rich with veins of rare metals, gems, and stones. These resources are grouped into tiers, and when you begin in Landmark, you will only be able to harvest a couple of them, which can be used to upgrade your pick to the one that allows you to harvest new resources and with greater efficiency. Below is a picture and brief description of the rare materials, gems, stones, and stones you will encounter in Landmark. Copper. Any pick can use any pick, and it's a tier 1 item, an orange ore with a bright metal luster. It usually appears alone, but sometimes with agates. Iron. You have to have a copper pick or the founder's pick. It's a tier 2 item. It's a blue-gray ore, which often appears with tin and sometimes with aquamarine. Tin requires a copper pick. It's a tier 3. And it's a dull gray ore, often found at the end of iron veins and sometimes with tourmaline. Tungsten iron requires an iron pick and a tier 3. A greenish ore, which often appears with silver and sometimes with amethyst. Silver requires an iron pick. It's a tier 3. The shiny ore, often found at the end of tungsten veins and sometimes with topaz or marble. Cobalt requires a tungsten pick. It is tier 4. A blue ore often appears with gold and sometimes with sapphire. Gold requires a tungsten pick. It's tier 4. A yellow ore often found at the end of cobalt veins and sometimes with emerald or amaranthine. Mithril requires a cobalt pick. It's a tier 5. A shimmering ore which often appears with rubicite and sometimes with ruby. Rubicite requires a cobalt pick. It is tier 5. A bright red ore often found at the end of mithril veins and sometimes with diamond or obsidian. The gemstones. The agate requires any pick. It's a tier 1. It's a swirling yellow and tan gemstone. It can be found alone or occasionally at the end of copper veins. Aquamarine requires a copper pick. It's tier 2. A blue-green gemstone. It can be found alone or occasionally at the end of iron veins. Tourmaline requires a copper pick. It's tier 2. The green and pink gemstone. It can be found alone or occasionally at the end of tin and marble veins. Amethyst requires an iron pick. It's tier 3. A purple gemstone. It can be found alone or occasionally at the end of tungsten veins. Topaz requires an iron pick. It's tier 3. A dark yellow gemstone. It can be found alone or occasionally at the end of silver or amaranthine veins. Sapphire requires a tungsten pick. It's tier 4. A brilliant blue gemstone. It can be found alone or occasionally at the end of cobalt veins. Emerald requires a tungsten pick. It's tier 4. A brilliant green gemstone. It can be found alone or occasionally at the end of gold or obsidian veins. Ruby requires a cobalt pick. It's tier 5. A vibrant red gemstone. It can be found alone or occasionally at the end of mithril veins. Diamond requires a mithril pick. It's tier 5. A sparkling clear gemstone. It can be found alone or occasionally at the end of rubicite or alabaster veins. The stone are ancient earth, requires any pick, any tier. Ancient earth is a dark brown dirt often found on the surface of all islands, also found in caves. Marble requires an iron pick is tier 3. It's a pale mottled stone. It can be found alone and occasionally with tourmaline or silver. Amaranthine requires an iron pick is tier 3. A purple stone. It can be found alone and occasionally with topaz or gold. Obsidian requires a tungsten pick is tier 4. A black volcanic stone. It can be found alone and occasionally with emerald or rubicite. Alabaster requires a tungsten pick. It's tier 4. It's a pale stone. It can be found alone and occasionally with diamond. Axes will allow you to target and chop down individual trees. Trees are targeted by rolling the mouse cursor over them while you have an axe equipped. If the tree you have targeted is in range, your cursor will look like an axe. Press the left mouse button and you will see a progression bar appear and you will begin to chop the tree down. If you want to stop chopping, press the left mouse button again. Resources. When you use your axe, you will receive wood and other resources as you chop down trees. In Landmark, most trees will be made of plain, burled, or striped wood, and on occasion a valuable crafting component called heartwood. In addition, there are rare trees that drop even more valuable crafting components. Below is a picture and brief description of the rare trees and the woods you will encounter in Landmark. Now you have to remember that the Founder's Pickaxe will chop down all of these up to the tier 6, which is everything that's in game currently. The woods. Palm Heart requires a 10 axe and a tier 2. It's a soft wood found within wild palm, a tropical tree found in the jungle. This is what it looks like. Gnarled Knot requires a silver axe. It's a tier 3. A knotted wood is found adorning petrified gnarl in the desert. And it looks like that. Ancient Rootstock requires a gold axe as tier 4, a sticky resin found in the core of the ancient sagewood, a tree found deep in the old growth forest. And it always has, it's the tree with the face on it. The Spindle Splinter requires a rubicite axe as tier 5. As I said, also, all of these can be done with your powders. Smooth wooden needles found in the bowels of the frost spindle located in the tundra. Sickle. Sickles are used to harvest plants. When you have equipped your sickle, a cone will appear on the ground at your feet and extend toward your cursor. Harvestable plants within the targeted area will be highlighted. To use your sickle, press the left mouse button, and while a harvestable plant is within your targeting cone. That blue thing is your targeting cone. You can't make the sickle until you get up to the higher tiers because it requires silver to make the lowest level one. When you use your sickle, you receive various plant fibers depending on the type of plant you harvest. In Landmark, some plants can be harvested for valuable crafting components. Below is a picture and brief description of the rare plants you'll encounter in Landmark. The Blood tier requires a silver sickle. Is tier 2, the brilliant red flower with teardrop-shaped petals found in desert caves. The Blue Bell, same as tier 2 silver sickle. The bulbous perennial plant with a sweet-smelling blue flower found in tundras. I've passed a few of those so far. The Cordelia, white petals with long sprouting whiskers on a tall stem found in forest caverns. Cotton is a broad three-lobed leaf and seeds in a fibrous bowl found in old growth forests. Crystallia is a pale angular bloom on a thorn-covered pinkish stalk found in crystalline caverns. Jute is a soft fibrous bloom with a curved central vine found in jungles. Night bloom is large purple gourd with a bright inner glow found in jungle caverns. Plum thistle, frail violet flower attached to a long green stem found in deserts. Sunbloom is a large orange and red flower on heavy stem found in jungles. And that is all of it. That's your resource guide.